Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang has called for efforts to take China-U.S. relations back to the right track during a meeting with U.S. Ambassador to China, Nicholas Burns. Qin says China-U.S. relations are not only significant to the two countries, but also for the world. He says the primary task is to avoid a downward spiral in ties, which is the most basic consensus that should be reached by the two sides. Qin also urges the U.S. to respect China's bottom line and stop harming China's sovereignty, especially on the Taiwan question. He says China welcomes Ambassador Burns to become a bridge between the two countries and make more constructive efforts. And we are joined by political and economic affairs commentator Einar Tangen via video link. Hello, Einar. So how do you understand what the Chinese foreign minister described as the downward spiral in ties? What factors have affected this trend?
Well, I think there's a number of factors. The first and foremost is this idea that the U.S. wants to push as far as it possibly can as it tries to create this containment policy out there. But of course, you can't be aggressive against a country and expect it to do nothing. The second part is that without clear policies, a lot of the foreign policy is being run by domestic considerations, especially with elections coming up. And there's another issue in terms of the trajectory of the two countries. The U.S. continues to go down, and I mean in the sense that they have crisis right now with the debt. There's divisions here on a daily basis about mass killings and things like that, whereas China continues to go economically up and is still doing very, very well with its people.
Well, Einar, Qin Gang stressed the two countries should dialogue and cooperate more based on mutual respect and reciprocity. In what areas do you think both sides should share more common interests and enhance exchanges and have some material outcomes there?
Well, I mean, there's one on the cultural side, and that's very important. Over the last 3 years, you've seen dramatic changes, according to Pew surveys and many other independent surveys. Before in 2018, China's favorable or somewhat favorable ratings with Americans was at 52%. Most recently, it's below 15%. So that's one area. Economically, there has to be a stop to this issue that the U.S. can play keep away from China and expect China just to take it. And politically, this idea that you can contain China simply because it is a threat to your domination of the world, that has to stop. The U.S. has to accept that they're in a multipolar world. China is part of it. It is not the only part. And that's really the crux of what needs to change. It's basically acceptance on the U.S. side that there is a multipolar world.